Goldylocks Productions is a subdivision of Goldylocks Simple Healing LLC. Tiffany produces radio and TV shows for those in the holistic profession. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. 323-870-3791. Be sure to press 1 if you'd like to get on there and ask your question and receive our special guest. Enjoy this insightful standing awareness show.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Spiritual Insight Show. I am Reverend Tiffany White, Sage Woman. I have a special treat for you this evening. Not only am I broadcasting live from radio, but I'm also broadcasting live from TV. So if you're interested in watching me live on TV, you can do so from the Goldylocks Productions website and go to the TV page and you will see the live stream from there. Or you can go to the Goldylocks Productions channel on Ustream. I'm just going to guide you, however, to the Goldylocks Productions website. And Goldylocks with a Y, Productions, CT for Connecticut. So it's GoldyllocksProductionsCT.com. The link actually should be, if you are on radio and you are looking at the show description, the link is there. But for those of you who are just listening on your phone, I'm giving you another option as well that you could watch me live on TV. Now, there is a chat box on the TV channel. You do have to register with Ustream in order to participate in the chat. For those of you on the radio, I'm not activating the radio chat this evening because we have the TV chat. So the call-in number is 323-870-3791. Please call in now. Reserve your spot on the switchboard. It's a good time to call in. I see we have callers lined up. Thank you, callers, so much for calling in, and we will get to each caller. Well, let me not say each caller. We will try. So those of you who have called in, please hang on. Stay on the line, and you will get your special messages and readings this evening from my very special guest and myself. So I would like to go ahead and open the show, as most people know that I do, is I'd just like to talk for a few minutes. Then I'll introduce the special guest, who is my returning special guest on every third Tuesday of the month, and is Michael John Fierro, wonderful numerologist, and we'll talk more about him shortly. And I just would like to mention that when you call in, please press 1 to ask your question to get on air. Otherwise, you're just going to remain in listen mode only and will not be brought on. So I see so far everyone has pressed 1, so thank you so much. And so now let's get on with the show. And thank you, whether you're watching live or you are going to view the live TV in video form or listen to this show via radio and audio. Thank you, everyone, for sitting in sacred circle this evening and creating that sacred space. And also, happy full moon in Capricorn. Wow. This is, for me especially, very hyper. My rising sign is Capricorn, and so the full moon in Capricorn, I'm finding myself today, I just have to really hyper, having to be very calm. And the thing with the Capricorn is that we overdrive the work. And so I find that I had to really bite my tongue today, and I'm sure for the next several days as we're under this full moon influence, that if those around me are not working as hard as I think they should be, I will say something. All of you are safe. It's my family. Oh, my adult sons are really happy they're out of the house now when I get in my phases and moods like this. So I feel sorry for my husband though. If I don't think that he is working as hard as I am, I write him. I just nitpick at him. Oh, really? You're going to sit down and play a video game when you could be doing this and doing that? Because my form of play is work. It's creative work. So I feel everyone should do that. I do recognize that and I'm working on that though. So I recognize that in myself. So I'm having to be very careful and just watch myself lately. I mean, that's okay. So happy full moon in Capricorn, and this is though a perfect time to concentrate and play, not work, because work doesn't sound so adult. Play is like, let's tap back into our childlike state of being, and that's what we are, being. Balance and center our energies. So this is a great time to balance and center our energies. It is time to vibrate in our truth, in the divine truth, the new personal practices, new intentions, new ideas, new relationships, pretty much expansion, expanding who we are. So if you are still operating out of old structures, you may experience self-destruction of these old, outdated energies. And how are you embracing and accepting these changes? Because if you don't like change, you're going to be very hard with the ascension and expansion process. But once you let go, know this, once you do let go and once you surrender, you'll be okay. You'll be fine. You'll catch yourself and then fix that. Readjust it. A higher vibration invites us all to play and to be in that higher vibrational dimension. It is time, currently, for expansion that's going to propel us into a state of balance and oneness. And so where is this higher vibrational center I keep talking about? We're going to be elevated, expansion. Where is all of this located? Believe it or not, it's located outside of us. It's located inside of us. Right here, Sacred Heart Center, your soul. All right? Right within us. And there's a very old saying that goes all the way back to alchemy. As within, so without. What we create within, we create without, outside of us. All right, and then of course, as above, so below, as below, so above. That kind of thing. So that's where we're working. It starts with us. It absolutely does. And I would like to encourage everyone, again, like I said, you can chat. I'm going to put the call-in number on the TV chat for those. So when you're producing your own show, you have to bear with me here. So I don't have anyone behind the scenes. I'm doing this. There we go. All right. So I'm just letting TV viewers, because we have more viewers coming in, that if they would like to call in, pretty much using the radio as the switchboard, you call in 323-870-3791. Please remain on the line and we will get to you shortly. So in talking about the great within and what can we do, and it's interesting, I've had a lot of people come to me, and also when I produce other shows, I'm noticing the hosts are being asked for, guess what question? It's the number one question. What used to be the number one question 4 years ago, even 3 years ago, was love. Guess what it is just this last year is job. Job. Think about that for a moment. It's, what am I doing? What am I doing here? And most of us feel like we want to participate, we want to give to humanity in such a big, expansive way. But we're not sure how to balance that between this world of doing, that we have to have this physical job. How are we going to balance this physical state of doing and being? And so it's a very good question to ask that, because unfortunately we do need money, right? We do need resources to survive in today's physical realm. So let's just find balance in that. And what I would like to, I know I've said this before, I just recently got a new book, and I'm really excited because it validates things that I've said in past radio shows and past TV shows. And it's a great book. It's the newest book out by Diana Cooper, and this is co-authored by Tim Wilde. It's The Archangel Guide to Enlightenment and Mastery, Living in the Fifth Dimension. I highly recommend that if this resonates with you, to please get this book. Check it out. You can go to Diana Cooper's website and order an autographed copy of the book. All right. So I'm just going to touch base just a little, just to give you a little sample of it so that you'll go and order the book. It's Masters of Earth, and many of us are already in the fifth dimension. Many of us, though, too, are operating in a higher vibration, in a higher dimension. Some of us are in the seventh, and some briefly, maybe in astral while we're sleeping, can get into the ninth. We can't hold ninth very long yet, but we're getting there. Okay, so many of us are working in these upper and higher vibrations, and if mastery makes you feel or we shouldn't call ourselves masters, or we shouldn't call ourselves teachers, I want you to reevaluate that. Why are you asking that? And that is, you need to examine that, what's making you feel uncomfortable, because absolutely we are all here to master our destiny, to master our mission. And mastery is the ability to I don't want to say control, it's more command, but to command your energy systems and maintain your high frequency, whatever is happening to you or around you. Walking mastery is a term applied to those who are living in the physical body while maintaining the upper levels of the fifth dimension. All right, this occurs when you obtain a high percentage of light in your four-body system. Diana Cooper talks about four-body system. It's your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. I know when I say mind, body, and soul, I'm combining the emotional and spiritual together. And why do I combine them two? Well, first off, I like the number 3. I think 3 is just very powerful. Spiritual body is outside of us. It is our light body, or even it's been called the rainbow body. All right, and some of us say that, and some physicists and some scientists are even saying that we're a hologram of our light and rainbow body, all right, on this physical plane. So then if the spiritual is your light body or your rainbow body, what is the emotional? The emotional is the soul, is the pathway, that doorway to your, it's direct connection to your light body, to your rainbow body. So that's why I like to combine them, but everyone, that's fine. You want to say 4, you want to say 3, doesn't matter. Mind, body, and soul covers it all too, and so does physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So now you know that it all means the same thing, pretty much. All right. This light is drawn into your aura when you pass tests. We know all that too well, right? And initiations sent to you pretty much by your soul. Who's testing me? Guess what? We are. Yeah. Sad but true, isn't it? No. So the blueprint for walking mastery actually has been provided by the 15-year golden era of Atlantis. And this is what we're getting back to, is that we are heading towards this new golden age. It's not returning to anything, because as we are expanding, we now have all of this knowledge, history, and experience of being in the dark ages, of being in the darkness and the war and the fighting, right? So we are moving past that now. And so hello viewers in the TV chat. Good evening to you as well. Thank you. So we're moving past all of that. And I know I've said before that we are modern Atlanteans. All right? And that we are modern Atlanteans right here and now to make sure that the destruction doesn't repeat itself. Fatal destruction, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to touch briefly a little bit on some of this. So pardon me, I don't have reading glasses. The people of that time demonstrated how it could be done, and their example is one of the foundations of this book from Diana Cooper. The information we need is encoded in each of us, and who had an incarnation during that period. So I'm saying we are the modern Atlanteans. All right. I see you, Michael. I'll bring you on in just one moment. My numbers man. In that golden era, the high priests and priestesses, all right, lived on the upper levels of fifth dimension. They were in constant communication with seventh dimensional beings who were able to live for very short periods in the sixth dimension. However, even those extraordinary evolved beings could not maintain the level for long while occupying in physical body. At the sixth dimension, they had to maintain the energies around them with the power of the mind and the assistance of crystals. Everybody, whatever their level, including children, undertook mind control training in the golden era of Atlantis in order to maintain the physical life that they envisioned around them. So this was done without ego, and this was allowed them to be the walking masters. All right, ascension from the third dimension involves building a pure crystalline light body known as the Merkaba. Those of you who forget what the Merkaba looks like. The Merkaba. All right. This is the geometric form created by your energies and your soul blueprint. All right. When your 12 fifth dimensional chakras, or your DNA, right, are fully active, your soul beams down a tetrahedron to hold your physical vibration. This is made up of two interlocking pyramids forming a three-dimensional six-pointed star. Think of the Star of David. All right. The next stage is when you balance your divine masculine energies with your feminine energies. And at the point, your Merkaba becomes a ball for the creative shape without corners. Becomes a circular shape, without corners, and can hold even more light. Isn't that interesting? And so this goes on and on. I mean, it's just really good. It's very interesting. You would really get into this. I feel if you ask about what is your job now, you really want happiness and our service to humanity, please read this book. This puts it all together for you, the doing and the being. Again, it's the Archangel Guide of Enlightenment and Mastery, Living in the Fifth Dimension by Diana Cooper and Tim Wilde. What I love is I've always seen a golden key. Look at that. Golden key. All right. And hence, if you notice, if you look at the logo on Goldylocks Productions, you'll see there's a golden key. So, anyway, all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for letting me but it's very important. I feel like people needed to know this, is that you can have a job anywhere that provides for your money, and it's how we vibrate when we're there. We have to provide that love and light and that center and that balance, and that gets pushed out in all directions. It really does affect everyone. It's very contagious. Just like you were around somebody who's grumpy, that kind of puts you in a bad mood. Well, why not be happy? And that just gets you into that great state of centeredness and balancing, and you can do that for everyone else as well. All right, so just real quickly, I always like to, a crystal message for the week is cherry quartz, the crystal. The cherry quartz is a stone of relationships and focus, and it enhances your intention. Wow, it goes right along the theme with this evening. All right, the cherry quartz enhances your intention. It's a stone of relationship and focus. Focus. That spiritual focus. The power animal message, I was so excited, an eagle. Eagle! Eagle is about swiftness, illumination of spirit, the ability to see through or to see the hidden spiritual paths. And guess what? They're not as hidden as you think they are. And great power and balance, the intuition and creativity. All right, isn't that beautiful? So the eagle is carrying a cherry quartz in his claws and his talons. So, all right, thank you callers who have been holding on. I'm going to introduce Michael, and then we'll take some calls. My very special guest, Michael John Fierro, has been working with numerology since 1984. He has worked with thousands of clients as well as giving hundreds of lectures around the country. He is a frequent guest on radio programs like this one and is known for his depth of knowledge and insights about numerology. He is the author of You Know Your Name, Look Up Your Numbers. Great book, Introduction to Numerology, right here. All right, here's his book. And Michael's available for private consultations, parties, and corporate events. While he currently resides in the Jersey Shore, he will soon be embarking on a long road trip and is looking for bookstores and centers around the country at which he could present lectures and book signings. So contact him if you would like to have him present a lecture or you want to put together a book signing for him in your area. And just a little reminder, on the radio programs, callers, he offers life path readings based upon the birth date, your birth date. So when we give your when I bring you on air, please give your name and your date of birth. All right, so without further ado, let me bring on a very special guest, Michael. Hello, Michael. You still there?
Yes, I am.
Yay! Welcome.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, thanks for having me again.
Can you hear me? I can hear. We can hear you. Okay. Here's the thing. If you have the volume on TV, turn that down. Only listen. Either from TV or from radio or from your phone, because I'll tell you why there's a delay and it's going to mess you up. So those of you who are listening just to the radio from phone, you're okay. But if you're going to watch the TV, you may notice that my mouth is out of sync. And if you're watching on TV, you're going to just have to, and on the phone with radio, you're going to have to mute or turn your speakers down or mute them on your computer. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up real quick, is that there is going to be some sort of delay between the two software programs. Okay, so can you hear me okay now, Michael?
Yes, I can.
Okay, excellent. Yay! Well, welcome to the show again, and it's just amazing how fast a month goes by.
I know we'll be celebrating Christmas soon.
I know, right. And so, in Connecticut, we suddenly got slammed the last week with some high humidity, so I'm sure you must be experiencing that as well. We finally got summer.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, so what have you...
and hot dew points.
Yeah. So what have you been up to this last month? Have you started your travels yet?
No, probably now, not till autumn. So.
Oh, there you. That's
I
that.
go to the beach whenever possible.
Oh, there you go. That's the best thing to do anyway, especially in summertime. Traveling's best for the fall, right?
Well, it depends where you're traveling.
No, true. True.
The problem with travel, leaving when it starts to get colder is I would be heading towards warm weather, so
Uh-huh.
I'm not getting away from summer. Actually, I'd probably be in a state of perpetual summer, moving, south during the winter and north during the summer or something.
Uh-huh. Ah. You would do that. You'd like that, huh? Well,
Yeah, well, I'm not a winter person.
well, you've lived in Florida before too, though, right? So,
Yes, yeah. Not
yeah.
that I would ever live back there permanently, but
So, for those of you who don't know, before, well, I can't even say before, because I think you delved into numerology a while ago, but you're also a chef, right? I mean, I think once you're a chef, you're always a chef.
Corn chef.
So, and ladies, I do believe he's available, so you may want to. No. Put a little plug for there for you, Michael. Anyway, so what can you tell us about maybe this month or this time of the year? What kind of energy are we into right now?
Well, universally, we're halfway through the 9th universal year, and if you look around, you'll see a lot of things coming to an end or rocking and rolling to the point where they're going to change in one form or another. And as far as the United States, on July 4th, we entered a 20/2 personal year as a country. So that, in the context of the 9th universal year, this is certainly even adds another level of turning points and decisions, reconstruction. And it's really, really important with the 20/2 that we learn to live together. We really need to work on living in harmony and cooperating with one another and being tolerant of one another and working to better understand the differences amongst us and find a way to be accepting of them and correct situations wherever possible to make things a little more peaceful. Because if we don't, some of the upset that we've seen over the last month or so, in my estimation, is going to get far worse. If we don't come to some sort of resolution on how to handle the difficulties that face this nation. And again, this personal year is the perfect time for us to do that, and in the context of the 9th year, again, ridding ourselves of these things that just do not serve the common good. And I really have great concern for this country moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
The decisions we make moving forward, the people we elect, give your vote a lot of thought and consideration, because what you're going to be doing is setting the tone moving forward. And again, I always reference that we're just at the end of a 36-year period, which in 1980, and politically in 1980 is when Reagan got elected. The country took a hard turn to the right. And we've had a lot of difficulties ever since. Everybody's contributing to it, but this drive for that kind of right-wing conservative agenda is not doing anybody any favors, because it creates a lot of divisiveness, it creates a lot of anger and upset, and people are just not, in my estimation, doing anything to fully educate themselves on things. So it's very, very important. It's incumbent upon each and every one of us to do our part to help right the ship. And you really need to make a decision as to what kind of a country you want to live in, and by extension, what kind of a world do we want to live in. I look around the world, and I go in, just read the news on a daily basis. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of systems being challenged. There's a lot of events that are very dramatic and traumatic. And we need to find a way out of this. Because if we don't, I'm really unsure as to what would happen in the future. And in the worst case scenario, it could get extremely, extremely ugly. So.
And you talk about in your book in the back, and I highly encourage you to get his book. Look how thick it is. It's a very easy read. As far as if this is something that you enjoy, you're gonna have a hard time putting it down until you are done reading it cover to cover. So in the back, he talks about 2016, a universal 9 year, and he goes into great detail about this and talks about the elections. So you want to definitely get his book, and you can get his book from his website. And his website is his name, michaeljohnfierro.com. And you can go to his website, order the book, and if you want an autographed copy, you just let him know. And you get so much more than just the book. What else do they get, Michael?
Well, you get a signed copy of the book. They get a 1-hour DVD of a TV interview I did a few years ago. And I also do the chart calculations for them. Yes.
Definitely. I personally think it's worth, a couple $100. and it's the price. I'm serious. It's the price of the book. And for someone who's been in astrology and numerology for a very long time, and seeing over the years, the last 20 years, how much people charge just to put your chart together, and everything that he provides, he brings everything together for you. And it's so affordable. I just feel you personally can't afford not to explore his book and to take his view of numerology. It just, to me, is all complete. It brings everything together. Like I said, I've always been interested in numerology, but I find that this book is the best numerology book so far, by far. And the only way that this could be topped is if he wrote a volume 2. So, all right, Michael, you ready to take some callers? We've had some very patient callers waiting, so.
Sure.
All right, so thank you so much, area code 219, for waiting so long. You're on the air. May we get your name, please?
Hello?
Hello, 219, you're on the air. May we get
Hello?
your... Hi, what's your name?
Liz, L-I-Z.
Hi, Liz, and what's your birthday?
October 29th, 1967.
Wow.
67?
Yes, 67.
Okay.
And what question did you have, or what focus of your life?
I don't know. I don't think it's like what's coming up or what should I be looking out for.
Okay. Well, Liz, you have an 8 life path. So 8 in numerology has great association with money and with business and with authority and power. So you're a very strong woman, and you should have some executive and leadership ability about you. Now, I'm assuming your first name is Elizabeth?
Yes.
And it's with the Z?
Yes.
Okay. You gotta watch your temper.
Okay. True. Very true.
And you also have a tendency to worry too much.
Yes.
So as much as you have great capacity to earn money, money may also be your greatest challenge. So one of the things, I also have an 8 life path, so I can speak to you from my own personal experience, and that is that when you worry about money, you stop slowly get into stress.
Oh, wow.
The more relaxed you are around money, the more comfortable you are that it's an abundant universe and things will come your way, the easier it will flow. And if you really kind of pay attention to your life, you will notice that when you do worry about money, it just kind of, where's the next dollar coming from? And when you just are comfortable, then it just, again, it does flow and all that worry dissipates. So you have, again, great also your own worst enemy when it comes to that. The other thing with the 8 life path, and if you take 8 and you lay it on its side, it's on to infinity. So 8s have a great association also with the law of return and the law of attraction. What you put out is what you will get back. And it's also a very karmic number. Now, we all have karma, and all numbers have a karmic element, but 8, the karma is extremely strong, and it can be virtually immediate. I always use this as a somewhat mundane example, but if you were somewhere and you get in your car to go home, and you're not paying attention, you're in a rush, and you just pull out into traffic and cut someone off, you can rest assured that before you get home, someone's going to do the same thing to you.
Yes.
And you may very well lay on the horn and give him the Jersey salute and yell at the street. Yes, but if you think about it, you're going to realize, oh, you know what, I just did do that to someone. So you need to be very careful. The other thing with an 8 life path that you must be very, very careful of is vindictiveness.
Okay.
You know, the I'm going to get you scenario. So you need to be very careful how you direct that power. Now, also with the 8 energy, again, as I said, 8 is a very masculine energy. So when people meet you, you're going to have some difficulties with both men and women upon first meeting. Women are going to sense that you're not quite one of the girls. As they get to know you, they'll begin to understand you, they'll become much more accepting. Men will be attracted to your strength, but, you know, as we all know, men say they want a strong woman, but when they finally have one, they tend to run for the hills because they can't handle it. So a lot of that has to go with you being comfortable with who you are and not using that power element of yourself as a cudgel to beat people over the head, because you will then want your own worst enemy. Your lifetime challenge is a 4, so you need to be careful of control issues. You yourself may be very controlling, and conversely, what you're going to attract to you is people who tend to be controlling. So you're always going to have these battles of will, which is going to light the fire under your temper. Okay, so the challenges are there for a reason. It's something that you need to learn about and overcome and then become. So to overcome control issues and that is to learn how to build strong foundations in your life and strong foundations in your relationships.
Okay.
Okay, and be certain that anything you go into has a strong footing. All right?
Okay.
Now, you are currently in a 2 personal year. At your birthday, you will go into a 3 personal year. So this year is about associations with others. It's with partnerships. It's about relationships. You're going to have a lot of situations up until the time of your birthday. Personal years go birthday to birthday. And seeing the duality in things and really taking the time to see both sides of any situation so you can make more informed and more appropriate and balanced decisions with things.
Okay.
At your birthday, you'll go into a 3 personal year, which is a creative year. It's a year about self-expression and much more socializing and things. The caution when you go into your 3rd year is to be careful of third-party interference or manipulation of your any situations you may find yourself in.
Okay.
You may be having a dispute with Joanne and then discover that somebody outside of the two of you is kind of manipulating the situation to cause the friction or the upset of the problem. So just be very aware of that moving forward.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Any questions?
I just gotta say you were right about everything. That's the first time I've ever heard an 8 being exactly like the way I am.
That's numerology.
That is very true.
Well, if you want to hear more, book a reading. Reading
I will.
a half hour, an hour, but it's fully detailed and a lot more information. Obviously, I don't have your full name, but you'll be amazed at how much information can be, this applies to everybody's listening, how much information can be provided through a numerology reading. And I'm not a psychic I don't tell fortunes. I don't tell. I give you the information so you better understand who you are, and by better understanding who you are, it improves your relationship with yourself. It improves your relationship with other people. It gives some meaning and some understanding to some of the things you may be dealing with in life, personality-wise, whatever the case may be. And then at least you know where what kind of tools you have in your toolbox, and how to emphasize your strong points and work to improve your weak points.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, that especially when you said about between men and women that sometimes don't know how to take me, and men don't know how to take me. And I thought it was just me, but since you explained about the 8, that made a lot of sense to me.
Okay, well, let's just remember, it is about you.
I know.
Okay? But now you have a better understanding, because, many times you get in a situation, you kind of, why does this happen? Why does this keep happening to me?
Yeah.
How do you understand that you emit a vibration and an energy that is read by others? And in many instances, and this applies to all of us, it's misread because other people read others through the prism of their own perception. So you may remind someone of someone else, and they're using that association with that someone else to judge you without giving you any latitude or the grace to be able to express yourself and be who you are. And all you can truly be is who you are. And for 8 the time, it takes a little bit of, it takes a lot of self-acceptance. And then you also have to get to the point that one of the greatest breakthroughs for me in my life was, I was a few years younger than you are currently, was getting to that point where not really caring what other people think about you.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm working on.
Yeah, we have a tendency to take other people's sentiments too personally.
Yeah.
And for me, and I share this with everybody, for me, one of the most important things in life is that 3-letter word, intent. If it is not your intention to anger people, if it's not your intention to upset people, if it's not your intention to harm people, and they read what you do in one of those categories and misread it, well, then it's on them, it's not on you. You can't be apologizing for being who you are.
Oh, wow.
Okay? You want to be the best version of who you are, but you cannot go through life apologizing for who you are because other people just don't quite understand. And believe me, this is coming from a person that's spent his entire life having people have a difficult time understanding who I am. And I got to the point that I'm not wasting any time or energy with this anymore because it's exhausting.
Yes, it is very true.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you so much for calling in. And I just want to tell everybody, I hope the TV viewers can hear the radio conversation that's coming through. If you can't, just let me know if there's some sort of sound difficulty coming through. But anyways, a really good reading for Liz, and it was reading the numbers. And I highly recommend that you do book your session with Michael John Fierro. I had an hour session with him, and it could have gone longer because he was really getting into it. And it's great because it's like, yes, like Liz was excited. Oh, wow. You've nailed me exactly how I am. And it's helping you to get to know who you are. And why numbers? Well, numbers is tied into astrology, is tied into all of creation. Everything vibrates in frequencies as numbers, sound. So it's all connected. It really is. And I love that because the numbers is going to, like Michael says, you're going into that upper vibration. And where there's no judgment, this is just how it is. And it's beautiful. It really is. So go ahead and
And,
book your
and if I
session.
could add something, Tiffany,
Uh-huh.
also, that when I read someone, I read the name that is on their birth certificate.
Right, right. Yes.
Because that's the energy you chose for yourself when you entered this plane. If you're a female and you've been married once, twice, whatever the case may be, no matter what your current name is, I read your birth name because that's who you are. Any name change, any name that you arbitrarily take for yourself through marriage or whatever the case may be is the equivalent of putting on a Halloween costume. You're pretending to be someone else. And for females, this is especially important that if you're going to get married, keep your maiden name. And if you're going through divorce, make sure that a part of your divorce settlement is that you take your maiden name back, because it will certainly help you in your new single life, because you will be reclaiming your identity.
And you don't even recommend the new thing of hyphening the name. Just keep your just for the women to keep the maiden name.
Right, because hyphenating is only, again, it's a name change.
Yeah.
And you're adding another level of energy. And what you're adding there is the surname of your husband. And your surname is the karma of your family of origin. So before you were born, your soul chose your name, your birth date, your family, because it knew what it needed to learn and who it needed to be and how it needed to go through that. So you're equipped to handle that karma of your family name. You get married and you take on someone else's last name, you have no idea what that karma is, and you're certainly not equipped to handle it. So when you're hyphenating, now you're going to go through life dealing with the karma of both names, and it's only going to create a lot more problems for you.
Oh, yes, yeah. That's a very good point. So this is what I wanted to bring to women's attention. All right, so we have another caller. Let's take another caller, area code 308. Thank you so much for holding on. What is your name?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi. You're on the air.
Hi.
What's your name?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I can't hear myself. Okay, my name is Diana.
Oh, hi, Diana.
My birthday is 5. Hi, Tiffany. My birthday is 5/10/67.
5,
Of course, 5/10/67. Of course, I got the job thing going on for me.
Okay, well, Diana, you have an 11 life path.
Yes.
Now, numerology is based on the numbers 1 through 9. But then there's another set of numbers known as the master numbers, which are the numbers 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. Master numbers are a higher vibration of the single digit that they would reduce to. And with that comes a higher call. There's somewhat of an exalted position of what the lower digit is. Now, an 11 is an inspirational and intuitive teacher. So I would imagine that you have quite a bit of intuitive ability.
Yes.
And it's important for you to use that in a very positive fashion. Okay? Now, one of the things with master numbers is this, that part of it is the master numbers that you volunteered. On some level, your soul volunteered to come here at this time to do whatever it is that you choose to do. And with master numbers, it's about the all as opposed to the single. So it's very important for you that what you do in life, you do for the benefit of the many as opposed to just yourself. If you go through life doing things for your own reward, for your own self-reward or self-gratification, things are going to have a tendency to backfire on you. So it's always important, again, to remember that you're doing for everybody. And by doing for everybody, your rewards will come to you. The other thing with master numbers is this, that if you are not exercising that number at its highest vibration, it will reduce to the worst conditions of the lower digit. So in the case of 11, it reduces to a 2. And if you're not exercising that 11 in that spiritual, inspirational, intuitive fashion, it will reduce to the worst conditions of the 2, and you will become a doormat in your own life. You might as well stamp the word welcome across your forehead, because people will be walking all over you. They will be taking advantage of you and trying to get over on you. So the good thing about that is, if you're self-aware enough, you will understand that you're out of your energy at that point in time, and it's a good way to remind you to change how you're going about things. Okay.
I actually always like to help other people, and that's always been me. I love to help other people.
Okay. Now, the other thing for you is you have a 4 challenge in the first 2 positions. Did you come out of a very disciplined home?
Yeah, well...
Were your parents perhaps in the military or police or something that had, some job that had a lot of structure to it and a lot of rules and regulations? And were there a lot of rules and regulations in your upbringing?
No. Well, I was raised a strict Catholic.
Oh, okay. Well, there's plenty of rules and regulations right there.
Yes.
And as I said to Liz, the previous caller, the 4 challenge is also about control issues. So you need to be very careful to avoid any tendencies you may have to be controlling. And you need to be very aware of the fact that energy will also attract to you people who are also controlling.
Oh.
So my mantra is this, that the best control is no control.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be like the Beatles and let it be. And let things kind of find their own course in their own way without getting too wound up over. Because, again, you'll just be creating a lot more problems for yourself. And there's a sensitivity with that 11 energy that can really be effective when you get into those types of circumstances.
Okay, interesting.
Okay? And you went into a 6 personal year at your birthday. So this is a year that has a lot to do with service to others. It's got a lot of energy around home and family and community. And you may very well find yourself in a position this year, and again, the year goes birthday to birthday, in which you find yourself being a caretaker for someone. It could be a family member or a friend or whatever, but you may very well find that you are in a situation where you have to expend a lot of energy in care of someone else. So if it doesn't show up, just be aware of that, and as part of the process, don't resent it, just do it with an open heart and a lot of love.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Okay?
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Diana. Diana, contact me after the show, and I'll answer a question for you, okay? Because I know you have a burning question on your mind, so I'll answer that. You know how to contact me, and I'll answer that for you off the air. Plus, too, I don't want to really put your personal stuff on air right now. So, but wow, is he right on, right? This is why I always recommend stay in the upper vibration, because if we can self-sabotage ourselves. And that's what it seems like, right, Michael, with that master number. And she's okay as long as she stays in the upper vibrations of who she truly is. But if she falls down, it becomes like that welcome mat, like you said, which is just self-sabotage. So...
Right, and it's in a way it's self-sabotage, but again, the other thing is that you're kind of, as I said with master numbers, there's an indication here that you volunteered to come here under that vibration and use it appropriately. Mm-hmm. And the analogy I always use is if you volunteered to take the trash out at home, and then you never take it out, you're eventually living in a house full of trash.
Yes.
So it's the same thing with the master numbers. You volunteered to come here to be that teacher, to be that inspiration. If you're not going to do it, well, then things are going to backfire on you.
Yes, yeah. Gotcha.
And again, the one plus with that is if you are self-aware enough, you will recognize that, and it's like somebody sending a telegram telling you, hey, get back on course.
Yeah. And Diana is very highly intuitive, and so it's great that she caught herself, and she's maintaining that course direction that's for her highest, for her mission, so to speak. So, okay, Diana, thanks again for calling in, and contact me after the show. And we have time to squeeze in one more caller. This is 806. Hello, Sherry. Sherry Scott, the mystical goddess, is on the air with us.
Hi, Tiffany and Michael.
Hello.
So, Sherry, give Michael your birthday, please.
It is April 11th, 73.
Okay.
And what question do you have, hon?
Kind of what you see coming up for me for the back half of this year and into next year, whatever comes up, work or anything to do with my business or practice or relationship.
Okay, well, you're in, you have an 8 life path, so as I said to Liz, the first goal, everything I said to her applies to you. And I see that you have at least one H in the spelling of your name. That gives you 1 8 in the spelling of your name. So again, the temper, the anger thing, you need to be careful of. You need to be careful of worrying too much about things. You need to kind of let go and allow the process to take form. And because it's the 8 life path, again, what you put out is what you'll get back. So if the return that is coming to you is not what you would like it to be, then you need to look at what it is you're putting out that's bringing back that type of a result. You have a 2 challenge in 3 positions in your chart. So your biggest challenge in life was learning patience and tolerance with other people. Now, I'm going to say that hopefully that by this time in your life you have learned that. But that would be the area of your life where you would have the greatest difficulties, the greatest concerns in being accepting of other people and getting along with other people, and you know, kind of training yourself to see and understand both sides of all equations, so you can better handle things as they show up. Now, you are also in a 6 personal year, so as I just said to Diana, this is a year that has a lot to do with home and family. 6 is also the number of marriage. There's a reason that June is considered to be the wedding month, because it's the 6th month of the year. And again, 6 has a lot to do with that type of energy. So if are you in a relationship, you're looking for a relationship?
Looking. 90 seconds.
The vibration of the 6th year is conducive to that. It's also conducive for an easier flow of money. So if you're having blockages in either one of those areas, there's certainly the possibility that things will open up for you. Again, it all dependent on you. If you have any awareness, obviously, of the spiritual world, you understand that. You know, you have to kind of participate in the process to make it happen.
60
even if
seconds.
I told you that you're going to go meet somebody, that you will meet somebody, unless you actively participate in that process, it's really not going to happen. So, but energetically, vibrationally, from the numerological standpoint, this would be a year that would enhance the possibilities for that. You need to be careful that the relationship you're looking for, the relationships you get into, serve you well. And again, as I said to Liz, with that 8, there's a part of you that's going to have some difficulty with both men and women. So if it's a man you're looking for, he's going to have to be a man that can kind of stand his ground with you, because there's part of the 8 can be very, very intimidating. And again, guys
10
want
seconds.
women until they actually get a strong woman, and unless they're secure enough in themselves, it tends to not work out. So it's about balancing your energy. And again, a lot of people, 8's, the other part of an 8, and again, I speak from personal experience, there's an element of an 8 that tends to view relationships at times as business transactions. So without knowing the rest of your chart, you need to be careful of that, because 8 can kind of come across as a little too abrupt, a little too cold at times, just because we don't put up with a lot of nonsense. And we do approach things kind of with this business minded attitude about things. So you need to be very careful about, again, what you put out there and how you present yourself. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
Any questions?
I appreciate that.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling.
Thank you, Sherry.
Yes, thank you, Tiffany.
All right, and we are at the end of the show. The time just flies by with you on, Michael, because it's just lots of fun. And thank you, everyone who has called in and for watching live on TV. So I hope everyone has enjoyed the TV and radio combination this evening. And maybe next month, because this is something I just decided to do. Oh, let me do this today. I didn't want to spring it on Michael last minute, but maybe if Michael feels like coming on air next month, you know, on video, he'll have to let me know. So we'll ease into that comfortably.
Do I have to be dressed?
Well, yeah, Michael, you'll have to be. You have to be dressed for video. So see, I'm not in my pajamas this evening. So
We could do an all-nude show.
and yeah, right, it'd be banned. Oh, you're funny. Yeah, but for you, just like you don't have a shirt on. Once again.
Stand up.
Yeah. Once again, this is Michael's book. You know your name, look up your numbers. His website is his name, michaeljohnfierro.com. Be sure to check out his website and to check out his book and his services. Please contact him. And thank you, everyone, so much for joining us this evening. And we will see you next month, the third Tuesday in August, when Mike will be back with me. And I'll be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all for sitting in sacred circle and in sacred space with us. May the obstacles to your flight be few and the blessings along your journey be many. Many blessings, everyone. Good evening. Good night, Michael.
Let's talk radio. Goodbye.